Esta conferencia comenzará a grabarse.
Oh, hola. Can you hear me? Buen día, lagarto. Pasco, buen día.
Buen día, everybody. And thank you again to all to be here.
You're welcome.
Good morning, Antonio. Good morning, everyone.
Buongiorno, Ilaria, Elisa.
Buongiorno, buongiorno.
Morning.
Benvenuta.
Elisa is a colleague of
Grazie.
mine from Reindustria.
You are very welcome, Elisa.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you so much.
Good morning, Lucia.
Good morning, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Do you hear us?
Lucia speaking here. It seems that I cannot hear anything. I will try again.
We can hear you. We can, but I don't know if you have problems with your microphone or speaker, sorry.
You speak now. I can hear you. Unfortunately, without the headphones, it works.
Okay, so now you can hear us.
Now I can hear, and you can hear
But you
me.
have some echo.
Yeah,
Okay.
it looks like the headphones don't work. If I try again to put the headphones, but with the headphones, I can't hear you.
Okay.
Let
No
me check.
problem. Can you hear us now?
Antonio, can you say something?
Yes. Now your sound is
No,
far
I
better.
cannot. It looks
Far
like
better. Have
I
a
cannot
problem
hear
with
you. I'm sorry, I have to put the headphones down.
on the top of the menu, you have the option to change the device on the speakers. Do you see do you see on the top of the menu to have the option to change the microphone and the speakers? Perhaps you should choose another one, another speaker. I don't know. Good morning, Jedrus.
Good morning.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Buenos días,
How are
Juan
you?
Carlos. Fine, fine. Very fine. Good morning, Teodora.
Good morning. Good morning.
Sorry, I don't know good morning how to say good morning in Bulgarian. You need to send me the translation.
I will. For the record, dobro utro.
Okay.
Oh, it's easy. Доброе утро. Доброе утро.
Dobro
Yes.
utro. Dobro utro. I will
Yes.
try. Dobro utro.
Доброе утро.
Okay.
Yeah.
Buongiorno, Veronica.
Buongiorno Antonio.
Benvenuta.
Ciao Veronica,
Ciao Ilaria, buongiorno.
buongiorno.
Hi, Daniel.
Good morning.
We will wait just 2 minutes, okay? Because as you know, we try to be very, very on time, okay? Good morning, James. Welcome.
Morning, Antonio. Morning, everybody.
Hello. Hello, James.
Hi.
Okay, I will take the email agenda. Anyway, okay, welcome everybody. The first point today is the presentation of the new space on the ECCP that is focused on, I don't know what happens with my camera. It's focused on the COVID fight. And we have here with us the best possible speaker on that is Lucia. Lucia, welcome. I will give you the possibility to present, okay? And the floor is yours.
Thank you, Antonio, and I'm sorry for the little echo you hear. I don't have a presentation, a written or I will do it orally. I would like to inform you about the latest development on the ECCP. Last week, we have set up the COVID-19 Industrial Clusters Response Portal, which consists of a dedicated web page within the ECCP and a forum where we would like to bring along the community, the cluster community, but also the industrial community to discuss. I would introduce first to you the website. The website has three sections. In the first section, we will introduce to the large audience the EU updates that are key for industry with the latest information available from the European Commission or European public sources that are highly relevant for the fighting against the crisis. Such information like making the standards for 3D printing available, or guidance for the production of the masks, and whatever important measures are being taken by the Commission, EU member states relevant for all the actors. Besides this, we will have below a section dedicated to the demands from public authorities. Here is where we would like to collect and make visible all demands that are identified, be it with the intervention of the forum, be it through European and national regional sources, be it as well from cluster organizations, whatever possible and reliable source that indicates demand that has been made public by public authorities. So here there will not be offers that are demand published just by individuals. We are screening this demand, and it should be clearly be it from hospitals, regions, and official authorities. And in the third category of the section, we want to highlight the solutions. This is a broad theme. We will see whether it needs a further adjustment and structuring. It's the place where we would like to see the results of the interactions. How is the cluster community reacting? Where there are inspiring solutions made available. It's a rather broader section with a wider scope of information. And in the end, there is, of course, we make visible and highlight the possibility to find the local industrial cluster here. We have to keep in mind that this section will not be addressed only or exclusively to the cluster community through the broad communication and promotion measures that we are going to undertake, also supported by the European Commission communication channels. This page will attract many visitors also from outside the cluster community and particularly from the industrial community. That is why I find it important to highlight where they can find the industrial clusters at a glance on this page. Now, a few words about the forum, and here in particular, I would like to express many thanks to you all, to Antonio, in particular for the initiative, also to identify the offers, the supply, to identify what is needed in the industrial community that you have all deployed over the last weeks. And now we have the possibility together to interact in a dedicated forum. This forum will be moderated through the intervention of the Cluster Alliance. Many thanks for this availability. It will not be an easy task, because once the information is being spread around, the number of visitors and the number of content items and the interactions made visible will grow probably exponentially. The aim of the forum is actually to highlight, to capture, to post, to make visible a lot of information related with the actions undertaken all over Europe to fight the crisis, but in particular to highlight where are production capacity proposals of medical equipment, technical specifications, where to make visible, for example, open source designs for 3D printers. It should be a place where opportunities can be identified, and also the road then through the forum to communicate, to inform about these opportunities. It's the place to exchange both through the cluster intervention, but as well through every other users interested to exchange, to find solutions, to develop, to react to problems, and also to collaborate jointly to develop such solutions. We are right now, of course, the main priority, given the dramatic situation created by the virus. We want to connect and to connect and to solve the problems, to collaborate through collaboration. And of course, we are looking at these major emergencies needed now: masks, ventilators, respirators. You know better than myself. You've been dealing with these issues for the last weeks. But we also want to look at the solutions for tomorrow, meaning we want to see what is the impact and how clusters can contribute in addressing the needs of their members, of the industry, in relation to the skills development, to the digitalization issues. We see that the world changed massively over the last weeks. The forum will be open to every user that has an ECCP account, which is extremely easy to do in 30 seconds. You can become a user. You don't need any approval, and the content will be not automatically published, but it will be subject to the moderators, and the moderators will be working from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. These are the opening hours, meaning the forum is of course accessible 24 hours, 7 days a week, but the moderation takes place within this time frame. The reason for putting moderation is because we want to make sure that in the spirit of the ECCP, which is always quality above all, we do not want to encounter problems with the content that is published by any type of user. I would like to highlight as well that we look at this first, because it is the first experience of the such. The ECCP had the previous, or still has a forum dedicated to the European Strategic Cluster Partnerships. However, this is a closed forum. This is for the first time that we are having an open forum, making the interactions of the forum visible to everybody. And we would like to look at it also of a predecessor as a pioneer for the upcoming ECCP that is under development and will be launched in June, with much better IT tools for interconnectivity between clusters and members. So we would like to learn from the experience that this forum is enabling us to make right now, and have feedback, particularly from the moderators, on how things work, be it at operational features, what kind of usability, what do's and don'ts, and so on. So to learn for the next stage. So very grateful, and thank you in advance as well for providing us such useful feedback, to learn about the needs. We're looking forward, very much forward to the upcoming collaboration, and make this portal and this forum a real success for the industry, being able to provide solutions and to mobilize the industrial community throughout Europe through this collaboration between the ECCP and Cluster Alliance. And thank you very much in advance for all your support. If there are any questions, I'm here.
Thank you, Lucia. Do you have comments, questions, suggestions?
Can I?
I'm Veronica. Oh, please.
Okay.
Go ahead. Oh, okay. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the presentation. I think it's progressing very nicely. I had one comment and one suggestion. So the comment is referring to the also to the presentation that I gave yesterday with regards to having also some kind of moderated way of providing solutions and collecting solutions with respect to 3D printing and additive manufacturing and so forth. And I'm not sure whether that's possible within the framework that was presented now, but maybe there's a solution. And the other thing is more general. So we have a background in University of Antwerp on usability analysis and so forth. So I will be contacting Julia if possible with some suggestions with regards to usability.
Thank you very much, Yuke. A first comment related to what you said. The forum is flexible, so the categories that you are seeing right now, like a sub-communities to see I need help, I can help, practice sharing, these are flexible. So if you would like, for example, to develop a known section dedicated to what you said, providing, collecting solutions, and that is certainly possible if you want to have a dedicated, let's say, topic that needs to be addressed. And to the second one, I can only say thank you in advance for your feedback and suggestions to be considered in the next steps. Thank you very much.
Yeah, the point here, Joke, is that I think that the forum will be a perfect place to have public discussions. Okay, because in fact, it's very important to be able to make public what you think, what our community thinks and our opinions. And I was thinking some minutes ago, if open a thread about dirty and quick, or safety and sure, okay, something like that. But the problem with the forum is for really being a workspace is that it's not the best place to exchange files. In fact, the only file that will be free to, or possibly to upload, will be images. Okay, so probably you will we will need another kind of space that I think that we could provide. We can think about it. Okay, just for the real work between teams. Okay, sharing documents and models and so on. Okay, but the forum is the perfect place to make public what you think on what you are doing, or looking for collaboration, or looking for opinions, and that's the, I think that is the biggest speaker for Europe. Okay.
One thing, sorry, one little detail maybe to understand the issue you just highlighted, Antonio.
We cannot hear you, Lucia. Lucia? Lucia,
Is to let you know that currently you can hear me? Can you hear me? Yes?
Very poorly, sorry.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Okay, try, please.
Oh, I'm so sorry. We are operating right now with the ECCP on a technical structure that was developed in 2015. So imagine how the technology evolved in the meantime, and unfortunately, the framework, the technical framework that the ECCP has right now does not allow to put up in place within these existing structures up-to-date or state-of-the-art tools. This is why we are completely rebuilding the ECCP from ground, its all structure, so that when the launch will take place in June, it will be on the latest let's say technical technologies and solutions available. This is why we are having not the perfect or the ideal solution in place right now. But as Antonio said, it's the place to exchange, to discuss, to make visible, to animate, and to create these type of interactions between users driven by the same purpose to help and to find solutions to the current issues.
So, for example, Jauke, it will be perfect if you want to publish your presentation from yesterday in the forum, and we can open a discussion about it and comment, and I think that would be really, really good, not only for us, but for the general knowledge in Europe and the world even, about what do you think and what you are proposing. Veronica.
Thank you, Antonio, and thank you very much, Lucia. So my suggestions are about standards, because of course, as we said, we need to move very quickly towards at least some compassionate use tools, but for the ones that want to are indeed interested to reconvert also on a medium and maybe long term this kind of productions, I would also add the standards, since they are open. So I would create an area with this. And one problem that we are having is mapping the laboratories that are performing the certification tests under those standards. So, for instance, among the long list of several have been made freely accessible by Sensenelec, and that are of course cited already on the ECCP, but if I'm not wrong, not in this forum. Just one laboratory under one standard is operating here in Tuscany, for instance, and we have problems in understanding, under the shutdown of the industries that we are having, if any others are doing this kind of job. So maybe also to the use of the other territories could be nice to be able to map this, to collect on the territories this kind of information, and then to map it under the ECCP.
I think, Veronica, that's exactly the question that you should raise in the forum. Put in the forum exactly, this is our issue, this is what we would like to know, and we are spreading this information as well through the communication, through social media. besides the interaction of the forum. I think that's exactly the purpose.
Okay, clear. Thank you very much.
Can I just come back, Antonio, to
sure.
sorry. So my experience with forums is that they're very good in consolidating and accessing running topics, but they're not always good in aggregating the most important thing. So if that can only happen if you have very good moderation, and if you like make daily summaries of what has been discussed or what so forth. What you basically see now in the maker community is that people use two different channels. So they use Slack for communication about everything. So this is really the way current development works. So people use Slack channels, and to a certain extent they're very accessible. To the other, not, because if I look into my colleagues' channels, they're in French or in Portuguese. So Slack channels are used to be in native languages. So that's one of the challenges. The other thing is the aggregated knowledge gets collected in like Google Documents, or so in a shared document, which is not. So a forum is always ordered in a chronological way or inverse chronological way. So the new things are on top. With a Google document, you can change the order in. So, for example, for best practices or for good designs or good companies or good solutions, you might not want to have a chronological or inverse chronological order. So that's one of the things that has to be addressed, or maybe it's a different kind of thing. So, but I just, so maybe the discussion is just for discussion. And then the other pages that you presented before that, Lucia, are more for that kind of aggregated knowledge.
I totally agree. And we need to choose if we use Slack or for your team and other things that we could create under ECA. I think that we need to decide, or you are free also to decide internally, if using Slack or any other tool. That there are others, but for me it's clear that was what I trying to say before. This is just one common place. The forum is a common place to discuss about, and as you say, it is not the best place to retrieve or order the information. Okay, we could choose to use Google Forms or Google Documents or others. Okay. But those will be, as far as I understand the scenario now, those will be out of the scope of the ECCP. It will be under the European Cluster Alliance, because those are not officially supported by the ECCP. We could link the forums and some threads, even fix the threads on the different categories, defining the link to the main repositories of this kind of aggregated data. For example, the directory of the laboratories. Or I don't know if it will be possible to have the directory on the ECCP as one of the agents. We need to see on that. But you are right. We need to create a architecture of functionalities split in different tools, as far as I understand. Yeah.
I will take this issue as well to be discussed with our IT development team to see what is possible right now, under the consideration that we are working at full speed in developing the large platform from scratch. So we will see what is possible.
I have a question. Could this platform have the links to the several platforms where the people are working? Slack,
I think,
whatever?
I think so, and you should create posts making the links or declaring the links, explaining the links. Those posts will generate discussion about what you are doing. But ideally, as Joke told you before, the best solution would be to have a kind of directory by categories, stating, okay, platforms to provide support on matching demand and offer by countries, or general platforms for Europe or whatever, or social platforms, and these kind of documents usually are out of the forum, are shared documents on the cloud.
Yes, but making the platforms visible is something that the forum can do.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's not that we are now splitting, this is happening here and this is happening there. Indeed, the forum right now, it's not an operational, does not offer the feature for a collaborative environment. These features are not there. We have to investigate whether this is possible within a short time. And yes, keeping in mind the number one priority we're having for the launch. But on the other hand, making visible and indicating where these dedicated groups and making these available to a wider audience so that they can access them and know that these other working groups are happening on Slack and so on. This is something that definitely should be on the agenda of the forum.
Antonio,
Hello.
good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Hervé speaking from France. So, Lucia, thank you very much for the initiative again of creating this platform and supporting a e-forum. So, seen from my window, I think the absolute priority is to bring and share a solution, okay, to hopefully help and overcome this crisis. So I 100% understand that the platform is maybe not, as best as we would like it to be, but at least this preliminary architecture give us the opportunity to interact and to share information that could be very useful to save lives. So I have a very practical example, Lucia, for example. We Monday, time is flying. It's even tough for me to know which day we are. So we collected a certain number of companies for the production of masks. This aggregation of data was made for France, and we, AFBC, would be pleased to share that with our colleague from Europe. So would it be possible, for example, to upload that file on the category which was which one? I cannot see it on the screen, on the share screen, which was best practice sharing, something like that. Is that something expected through this platform and let's say the forum that can come with?
Can I answer, Lucia?
Yes, please answer, Antonio. Yes, and I'll get back. Yes.
Bonjour, Hervé.
Bonjour.
One limitation that has the forum is that it's not possible to upload files. And even it's better to have the file on the cloud, because that way you are able to update it and keep it updated with the last information. So the recommendation is, if you want to share a file in the forum, you can link to it. Okay, you can declare the link in the text of the message, and that way you are able to freely update it and keep it up to date. And the way that we could do that is we could create teams that will be able to update the different documents, the references, and the rest of the world will be able to see it or download it, but not change it. That's a way to work. Okay, there are a lot of ways. Okay, but this is probably the most common.
Okay, good. That's very clear.
Hello.
Can I
Hello.
ask what kind of files you're looking at from France? What kind of formats?
Today, I think we have. Let me check quickly. It looks like to be doc table. Yes.
If you just upload this file on one of your servers, and then you place the link, so you explain, you create a post, a topic, and you say we have aggregated this information from
Easy.
and this is what we offer. You just put the link there, and people will access it from the source on your server. Or your
But to be clear, if you do that, we will have some kind of distributed repository of information. That would be nice, no problem at all. But perhaps it's better if we try to have a common repository, okay, for European Cluster Alliance or whatever, where we could put together the main documents on references, okay. I don't have any problem to create that. It's very easy, okay. I could give rights to edit and access to the core team or the different teams, and that will be good because that way we could publish this repository, okay, to the world or to the ECA members or to whoever we want, okay, and it will be far easier to go through the different documents.
I would like to emphasize that this is the work in reality, that all this information that is channeled there is for the ECCP to, let's maybe discuss then. I mean, this is not for the purpose so that the Alliance creates an own database, but the purpose is to make this exercise, to make this information available to the whole community. Sorry, Daniel, I'm seeing you with a raised hand, sorry. To make this comment. So Hervé, this is also the role of the moderators in case such information that you are saying that from France, this is the aggregated data available. The moderators inform the ECCP team, and we are publishing these as solutions or in dedicated pages. We make this available to the whole community. So it's this is also why the moderators are there in place to spot what information is to differentiate between the various type of information. Some information will have a different impact through being made visible on a different page. That's where the pages of the portal are for. So this is the forum for the discussion, but the outcome that happens in the forum will be made public through the ECCP pages. Let's not forget about this dual functionality of the portal. Sorry, Daniel.
Sorry, Lucia. I think that we have here a misunderstanding. Okay? As far as we should discuss about it here. As far as I know, the ECCP doesn't have a document repository. And
the forum does not have a document repository, but
no, even the ECCP or the web area.
What do you mean a document repository?
That's what I was speaking about. It's a kind of directory or yes, common directory of documents, okay, that are updated with references on, for example, the last version of the prototypes approved by the different regions, or the recommended solutions for mass or whatever. Okay, and it's probably better if this kind of repository is not under the ECCP, because the ECCP is an official entity working for the European Commission, and those kind of documents could be difficult to approve. Okay, so my idea is that it will be good for the European Cluster Alliance to create this kind of repository, and we will link to that in the forum as a suggestion, but will not be official from the forum. It's just that we, as ECA, or as the members of ECA, we will link to this kind of documentation without need to pass through all the approvals phases on the official way. And I clear?
No, yes, you are clear, but I think we have to differentiate between two issues here. We are having, on one hand, the EU key updates key for the industry, and then we're having the solutions. These solutions are the solutions that we publish without needing an approval from the European Commission, whatever is published there. So if Antonio, if Hervé has this aggregation of data and makes it public, we are publishing there under the solution section.
Yeah, so, but you are publishing something that is static, because you are giving the information that when what you are publishing is the date. Okay, just for that date. And if you attach a document to that publishing, it's just for that moment. Okay, and the idea is that we need to keep documents alive, and that we need to keep references up to date. And if you put that in a live document shared by some managing team, okay, and link it to the forum or wherever, you are able to edit continuously the document, and the information is live, alive.
Okay, but then
may I complete something, Lucia, Antonio?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So the collection, let's say this table with aggregating data for a mask mainly regroups today something like between 40 and 50 actors, economic actors in France. So this table is concentrating on the French perimeter in Europe. So these data were validated at the government level, which means that the recommendation and standards that are applying right now have been validated at the national level for France, at least. So I don't want, of course, this table being modified online. Nevertheless, if I could have the possibility as the representative having the ability to update this table, to do it online on the ECCP platform, this will definitely make my life simpler, because it will replace the alternative consisting of sending you, Lucia, an updated table, you know. So we have these two options according to me, but I personally wouldn't like to have someone else having the possibility to do some modification in this table, for the reason I did explain.
So we will have the possibility to assign rights to edit, okay, to modify. I will give you all one examples, okay? If we speak about homologation in Spain of mask, okay, past Thursday, the region of Madrid approved model, okay? And it was published as approved. And we could have sent a update to the ECCP telling, okay, this MAS is the new model approved by Madrid. But the next day, they invalidate the MASC. So what are we going to do? Send a update to everybody saying, okay, now this MASC is invalidated? No. The best way to do that is keep one live document with the up-to-date documentation or information, sorry.
Yeah,
Hello, good
I
morning.
agree. I agree with the idea, Antonio. I don't have any major problem with that. Nevertheless, since I propose to share this information of companies having capabilities to produce masks, which is a critical product right now in this crisis. So I want to be sure that for a French partner, there won't be any possibility for someone else to modify the table.
It's
I
not
can't.
problem.
This is validated and agreed by the French government. In my case, for example, I don't want to interfere in a table for Spain. You could share to the community. We need to have this security. This is important to maintain all the information we share credible, because we have some fake information. That's one potential risk. Okay, so we cannot afford having on share information someone entering the table and doing modification. We can't.
Clear.
We can't.
It's clear. No problem at all.
Antonio,
We can control access rights.
Okay.
Daniel.
I'd like to say something. Going back to basics, I think the forum is a forum. It is a place for discussion. The forum should not be expected to take some functionality that is not a forum. A cloud storage space is a cloud storage space. If we need cloud storage space, we should set it up and link it to the forum when it is needed. Discussions lead to projects. The forum is not a project management system, and it is not a project communication system. It is a forum for discussion. When a discussion leads to a project, maybe that group will set up a Slack forum and they will get to work outside of the forum, because that will not be the place to manage a project. So we should be very clear what to expect from the forum. Now, about what the forum can do and how easy can it be to access, we have experts that are going to make suggestions to improve it. We could, for the time being, while we have this technology, say on top, I want 4 categories. I want to have my project or service peer reviewed. I want to contribute to a discussion. I want to offer help. I want to solve a problem, and then explain how you do it inside the forum. This is my suggestion.
Create an area for peer review.
If a peer review can be entered through the forum, start here. And then if you want your project peer reviewed, then maybe there is one of the forums that is where you start the conversation about peer reviewing something, and then the activity takes a life of its own. Then you start peer reviewing, you start the conversation, and then if you need some backup space, you need some other place to put documents or to do another process, then that's beyond the scope of the forum. You enter through the forum, you discuss whatever you need, but this is the place where people get connected. This is the utility of the forum. Where do I go? I enter in the forum, I look where people are talking about peer reviewing, and I start a process of peer reviewing. and I want to be a peer reviewer, I go to the place where people are peer reviewing. I want my product or my service peer reviewed, I go to where people are doing the peer reviewing or other stuff.
Yes, I agree with you, Daniel. This is right now the possibility that the forum should focus and is able to provide the support for fulfilling this this functionality at this stage. And yes, later on in June there will be dedicated communities with Slack functionalities or Slack-like functionalities where you can upload documents, you can share, you can pin each other through the system and so on. So a lot much more sophisticated collaborative spaces. But for now, indeed, you have mentioned are the let's say what is possible right now to do. However, we can continue the discussion maybe beyond this group to see where the ECCP or what is the role of the ECCP in managing or for these documents that are taken out of the or that are generated through the forum intervention. But I think that's something that we should also discuss together with the whole ECCP consortium and as well with the European Commission as well.
Okay, what will be your suggestion on tools? Or perhaps we could open, why not open a thread in the forum to discuss about that?
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah. Perfect. Open it, please. You yourself, or it could be on, I don't know, on, but it could be on best practice sharing, or it could be on discussion on technological solution. But open a thread, we will have the discussion there. We can have the suggestion about what kind of tools, what kind of architecture, how to link between tools. I think it's perfect. We'll do that, but we should try to have or to reach some kind of agreement very quickly because we are moving very fast.
Yeah, just to connect, and I already had a number of European projects where we used different kind of tools for PLM, so product lifecycle management, and some of them are more or less open source, or some of them are at least accessible, and they can be really simply be added to what's already there. So so I will contact some of these people in the morning and see whether they can provide something to us, in a sense.
Perfect, but please do it in the forum, because that way everybody will be able to add to the contribute to the dialogue. Okay. Perfect.
Thank you very much, Yuke. And I would like to remind everybody that the urgency we're having right now is to get this forum really boosting, exploding with content, with discussion. So your help of the whole European Alliance is here needed, to spread and bring on board the participation of your cluster members, of your members, anybody who has, we're having, I need help, I can help. So these are the areas where we should make visible as soon as possible what is happening out in your.
May I, hi everyone, it's Anaïs speaking. May I just say I will present this tomorrow because we have our webinar with the members, but it's open for everybody to join. I already posted it on LinkedIn. I will send you the link to the GoToMeeting tomorrow. But Lucia, do you want me, I mean, if you want to pop in tomorrow, it's going to be between 12 and 1, if you want to explain or just let me know. Apart from showing all the functionalities, I mean, obviously the life science sectors, we've been doing that very informally, the demand between our members. So I'm very happy to promote this space and to make sure that the CBER members are also active there in the discussions.
I'm sorry, Anais, I could not. Can you please just repeat the last issues? I did not have a good connection. I'm really
Okay, no, I'm just saying that tomorrow we have a webinar that we do weekly now on the COVID issue with the members of CBER. So if you want to join, and that's for everyone here, it's going to be between 12 and 1 tomorrow, and it's just to provide updates on what's going on. So I provide updates normally, so I will show this forum and on the CCP platform, but if you want to join and discuss it, feel free to do so.
Thank you, Anais. I'll make sure that somebody. Myself, I have a meeting, but I'll make sure that somebody from the ECCP is present there.
Great, thank you.
You shared the link. You send again the link.
Hello, Pedro Rocha from Portugal speaking. Basically, it's just a quick and side comment. Please, and despite this is somehow understood, I think that it will be important to have a disclaimer, meaning that despite moderators, the responsibility of the information put it in the forum is from their authors. Secondly, also in terms of the solutions, I wasn't able to quickly overview of that, but in my understanding, it should be somehow a disclaimer stating that the responsibility, the exact information is from the sources and not directly from ECCP or ECHA. And basically, in order to be fully understood, that despite being moderated, we cannot fully verify, for instance, the adequacy of models that being shared and so on. We are talking about public health, and as such, I think that it will be very, very important to have a disclaimer on
that. The disclaimer is already in place, Pedro. Is in the forum rules that you're saying here. If you go on the platform, where it says neither the European Commission nor the ECCP are responsible for the content of any post on this forum or the use which may be made of the content. Please only post your contact details if you are willing to be contacted by any of the registered users. And it's individual posts are moderated. These rules have been agreed with Antonio. Please, Antonio, if there are any changes, let us know if there needs to be any adjustment on that.
Okay, yeah, if you have some recommendation on updating this disclaimer, don't doubt to send them to me.
No, it's not from us, but from your perspective, it's the other way around.
Yeah. I am asking the members that if they see something that they will suggest in modifying the disclaimer, I can receive the suggestion and transfer them to you.
Perfect.
Okay.
Anyone else?
Ilaria speaking from Italy. I want to thank you, Lucia, for the great effort for setting up this tool. And I wanted to update all of you. Yesterday, I had a call together with people of Lombardia region, the regional administration, and the people in charge for the coordination of cluster policy and cluster managers. And I told them that I'm involved in this voluntary group and guided from European Cluster Alliance. They are happy that I stay in touch with you, and we agree with each other to stay in line. I mean, in both directions, keeping each other updated about the news and need. And for example, so this new tool available, I know that they are already always looking online on the cluster collaboration platform and the newsletter of the ECCP. But anyway, we we will keep up day by day in order to share if there are some other consideration in both directions. And for example, giving news to all the cluster managers and members for sure. For example, on the new call that also Ulla was talking about in the previous days. So we will see about the feedback of the cluster managers inside this tool. I have a little curiosity about Lucia, if it's possible for you as the coordinator of the tool to see how many people look into a specific discussion of the forum. If you see the numbers of visibility, I don't know if you can.
Unfortunately, I can only take this question back to the IT team. I'm not an IT person, so literally, I don't know the answers, but I will come back to you within shortly. It's about the traceability and trackability of the users and how many people see, how many participate.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Just to check and to monitor the attractiveness of each issue.
I will say, Ilaria, that this is possible.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know how the tool, Antonio. This is technology 2015.
No, but I know that they are using Google Analytics, and Google Analytics has the possibility to.
Please, let's not make statements. We are not allowed to use Google Analytics, so please, let's not make statements until I have information from the.
I could be mistaken. I could be mistaken. Sorry.
Thank you. But I'll get back to all of you with this information. The important thing is to get right now, you know, when the large promotion machine starts, to have, you know, like a larger number of topics, larger number of comments, and this is where all of us are, you know, asked right now to bring to make a particular efforts to boost the forum's activities, and then we'll inform.
Okay, thank you, Lucia. Anything else? Okay, we plan to speak about the hackathon today, but it has not been possible. So I expect to have some time to speak about it tomorrow. But tomorrow's theme is about exploring the possibility to offer services and products from our clusters to cover the actual needs of the public authorities. I have received, Elena is not here from Portugal, but I have received a very good example on that. I will show it to you. In fact, I have published it in the forum. I think it's here, probably. Yeah. Are you seeing the screen? My screen?
Yes.
So, this is a call from the Portuguese National Health Service, okay? And we are sharing it in the forum, okay? And that I think is perfect because we can keep track on this kind of calls through the forum, and it will be very easy to search for them, and perhaps some of your members, cluster companies, could provide products to this call. Okay, so tomorrow is about that. I have not received confirmation from Ulla who is participating from the European Commission side. I know that Lisa, I don't know if Lisa is here. No, I think that Lisa is speaking with some French authorities. Here from Spain, we expect to have the president of the Committee of Spanish Buyers from the public side. Carmen, I don't remember the surname. I expect to have her and others, also others buyers. Okay, it would be perfect if you are able to invite your representative from this kind of buyers organization, from the regions or from the national organization. Okay, because that way we will have a very fruitful discussion about how to align their needs with our capacities. Okay.
And at what time is it?
It's 8:30, as every day. Okay.
One little comment, Antonio. Please make sure that the content that you publish also has a minimum of quality. If you look at the title, do you want to provide the Portuguese NHS? Please make sure that particularly the titles are are trying to reflect what is needed, because a user may not understand what do you want to provide. So please double check as well the quality. This is for us, for the ECCP. It is always one of the it's the mantra that we're having. So just make sure that that the information. I know that you have been working yesterday night all night.
No, but I have copied exactly the phrasing that they use in the communication.
Yes, but the role of the moderator and those who is in charge of the quality of the content needs to make sure that we're not just copying and paste what is made available somewhere, but you are, making it available in a qualitative manner for thousands of users who want to see. Just because this is so prominent, it's just I admit I haven't looked this morning through the forum to see these aspects, but please make sure that this.
We need to agree on this kind of.
To have a qualitative eye as well on the content. Thank you.
Okay. We will speak about that. Okay. Thank you very much. Please invite your regional authorities. This is for tomorrow, and on Friday the expectation is to speak about social and economic impacts of the crisis. So also you are invited to look for experts on that area and invite them to make their contribution on Friday. If you expect some of them to make a little speech, 5 minutes or something like that, please give me the reference and I could put it him or her in the agenda. Okay, it's clear for everyone?
Yes, Antonio, sorry, could you please repeat the issue of tomorrow morning?
Tomorrow is about linking the public buyers. The question is that ULA told us some days ago that there are something like 35 billion of structural funds that has been distributed to the regions to buy medical supplies and products that are important for the actual crisis or the current crisis. The problem for them is that there are not enough supplies in the market, so the Commission decided to open the possibility to buy non-CE label products. So there is a possibility to buy products with different quality labels. Okay, but the problem is that most cases the buyers are usually from the regions or from the hospitals or from the national services doesn't know where to go to buy this kind of products, because the suppliers are not in their usual database. Okay, so from our cluster members, from our cluster capacities, perhaps we have the opportunity and the capacity to provide them with this kind of products, either either because our members have them, or because they can adapt their production lines or the current products to the buyer's needs. But the problem is they don't have the link. They don't have the information. Neither the buyers know about the possible suppliers, or the suppliers don't know about the buyer's needs. And the proposal is to create a link between them from this from the European Cluster Alliance, and in particular to study it tomorrow morning at 8:30. Is this clear?
Clear, absolutely. Thank you very much.
This is a very good opportunity.
Yes.
But it's important to have them here.
Yeah, yeah. We try. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Grazie mille. Oh, prego, sorry, prego.
Grazie a te.
Okay. I've put a few links in the chat box. Sorry, Antonio, it's Anais. I will try to get some people to also connect tomorrow morning, because there's I know a project that is working very well, actually bridging the gap through clusters from public buyers to companies, and also from the EIC pilot, so from EASME, they have a specific task on public procurement, and they have a specific person that works on that. So I could also maybe ask if they could join tomorrow.
Perfect. That's perfect. Thank you. Anyone else?
Just one suggestion. It doesn't apply to the tomorrow meeting. I don't think it will for the one on Friday, but I would like possibly to have a session where we could discuss these alternative consisting of recycling some types of mask. So there is an action, at least in France, as far as I know by now, evaluating the, let's say, value of specific treatment or chemical treatment, or treatment making use of gamma ray sources. So it's fairly interesting, and it would be certainly interesting as well to discuss that between us and to share some information. So this is a very, very interesting alternative, rather than to produce mask, which needs, of course, raw materials, and there is this option as well. It is still under work, but in France there is a consortium that was installed, and some testing of being carried out, and evaluation as well in the hospital environment. So this is a potential solution, but I don't know the viability in the future, but it is something we could discuss between us, and that's it.
My proposal was to speak about it in the context of the 3D printing group, that I don't have any news from Joke, from Ula, but I suppose that she's studying what kind of support can they give to the group. But Joke,
it's up to you, Antonio.
No,
it's up to you, Antonio.
I would say that Joke is thinking about this, and what would you propose, Joke, to
So indeed, we also have at least 4 studies aggregated on this. I think as a topic, it's a very valid topic. So I agree with you that it would be good to also have a separate discussion on that, because recycling, in a sense, or repurposing and reusing, has many appeals, and it's not the same as manufacturing. So it's a different approach. I know, so there's a large study done in the Netherlands, which was very negative, and also one, but it's depending on the type of treatment. So this needs also some specialists in that field, which are not necessarily the same specialists as the manufacturing. So like the 3D printing or manufacturing. Just to give you an example, there's now one experiment running here in near Ghent, where they use cold CO2 washing, so under pressure. So but there's others working with plasma, others working with ultraviolet radiation. So decontamination, as it's called, and repurposing is indeed quite an interesting story, a relevant story, and it's also something that I think most of the studies are done in Europe. So that's also something which is not really addressed in the Pacific Asia countries, and not yet in America, as far as I know.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, again, thank you for your comment. Again, I have no idea, of course, about the viability of that alternative, but some work are going on. There is a strong consortium. It's in Grenoble in France, and so they have this approach making use of a thermal treatment in dry or humid atmosphere. There is another one making use of oxide, ethylene oxide, and there is another one making use of ionizing rays. So different ways to possibly decontaminate the mask, and depending the type of the mask, and so without prejudging of the performance of that kind of approach, it's for sure the kind of information it would be definitely relevant to share at the European level. Again,
okay, I will propose Joke and Hervé and everyone. Okay, as these sessions of 8:30 shall be dedicated to a lot of different topics, and the group on 3D printing should not stop working, waiting for time to join these sessions. Okay, I will propose to create a different group or different schedule for meetings on 3D printing, and I will start creating or scheduling session as soon as you estimate is opportune. Okay, so it's in your hands. I will give you all our support. I don't know. Perhaps you should schedule a session for tomorrow and speak about it.
What I would prefer is to possibly be in touch with the consortium leader. Is a professor from the hospital in Grenoble, and if I was able to reach him and to have him attending the conference call, that would be, of course, the ideal configuration.
For sure.
So let me try to work on it, and I will keep you posted on that. So, but I don't think we should have that kind of discussion this week. Probably next week.
I would suggest to also to make this in a forum to collect these different studies, because there's quite some running right now. So again, we can use the forum.
Yeah, perfect. Do that. It's perfect. Okay, in any case, okay, I think that we could speak later whenever you want about how to go on with this, your proposal. Okay, just to
Yes,
fix
yes.
as soon as possible a plan to develop it.
Yeah,
Okay?
We
please.
will. So we will. I will try to work that out in collaboration with Jörg. That's your name.
Oui.
Your first name, Jörg. Okay. So let's try to work together to bring on the agenda that type of topic.
Perfect. Perfect. We have another meeting now in 10 minutes with the respirators group, so I will propose you to stop now. Okay. See you everyone tomorrow, and you know the topic. Okay. And also prepare, please, the intervention on Friday with experts on economy or experts on social impact of this crisis. Please give me your references. Okay. Thank you,
Please,
everyone.
Hervé sent us the aggregated information to be published in the on the ECCP page.
Yes,
webpage.
I will send you that. Let me double check that I can share this information, because it's a national, validated information. So let me double check that, and if that's the case, I think I will get the green light. I will forward the file to you, Lucia.
Okay, perfect. And looking forward to seeing many of you, active on the forum.
Perfect.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
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 Bye-bye.